But when you're sitting back, a guy like Harrison Smith, because, he got
Mhm.
emotional at the end of the press conferences, and, we had him on K-Fan, and he teared up a little bit as well, talking about, the season and the long career, and he knows that decision is coming at some point. What goes into that decision for a guy like Harrison Smith?
Well, I mean, your health first. That should be, the main reason. But when you've had a great career like he's had, for me, I know I didn't want to put any bad film out there. Like, I wanted to make sure that I was still the player that everybody remembered. And after my 13th year, during my 13th year, I just remember sleeping a lot, being tired, needing more rest, needing more recovery. And I felt like my skills were there, but I just knew that my body was telling me this is, like, you got one more year maybe. And I think that's where the realization comes in, that this is a young man's sport and that 13 years is a great career. I mean, this guy had he's had a great career. And, I think that he should play one more year. I think from what I saw on the field, he has the ability to play one more year, but it's more of him saying yes to the mental part of it, right? So I'll give you an example. My 13th year, I was just like, man, we're going over cover 3. Like, I'm in training camp, like, dude, cover 3. Like, I've been playing 28 years of football in a row. Like, I know cover 3. And it was me accepting the fact that I have to give the Nuggets. It's mandatory that I'm in the room, because he's in the room the same way I was. You know it all. You already know it. You've seen it. I can play cover 3 anyway, inverted, however you want, the weak side. Like, let's do it. Right? I've been in all the spots on the field. So he feels the same way. So I would say it's more of, does he want to take that lap again mentally? And that's the part that people don't see. It's being in training camp. Yeah, your body's sore and all that, but just going over the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So can you get excited to go take another lap? Because once you're in it, he's going to be in it. But can you be excited to take another lap? And then I'll end with this. So my last year was in 2006. My last year on the field was in 2006. And the Cardinals went to the Super Bowl in 2008.
Yeah.
Right? So, not saying I would have been on that team, but when I looked on that field, I saw that on that defense, it was like me and one other guy that wasn't there. Same guys.
Mm-hmm.
So when I look at the Vikings, I'm like, okay, they have a championship team, I believe. Couple pieces here and there, people can argue, whatever. You don't want to be at home next year and then the team is there.
Right.
And so I would challenge him to really mentally, it's more mental than anything else. Yeah, physically, they'll give you your breaks whenever you need it, but mentally, do you want to take another lap, man? And for me, I wanted to take another lap. I just thought that it was going to be very difficult. I played so long for Denny Green, and I think that was when he left, I think it was going to be a harder, more difficult last lap for me. And so I think with him, he's got all of his years here in Minnesota. I would encourage him to think about taking another lap. So that's my advice. But
yeah, because when you look at it, he's, like you said, he's been in Minnesota for 13 years now, so he's pretty much a Minnesotan. I don't know if him and his wife are going to stay here after they're done, but he's pretty much a Minnesotan,
Yes.
and you've seen the guys that, are not from here but end up staying here and loving it. You got a lot of the old veterans that are around town. They made a life here. Their families are here. You got, guys that stay, Kyle Rudolph, guys like that, came back to Minnesota, like not from here, but he's a Golden Domer like Harrison Smith. So I could see Harrison Smith being like, well, look, if he's here, plus, his teammates that he played with the last couple of years are going to be here still with the Vikings. So does he want to be around to be able to go to those games and be at the Vikings games as an alumni guy? Or, like you said, does he want to strap it up for year 14? And you got a guy in JJ McCarthy, probably taking over as quarterback. You look at what Kevin O'Connell has done with quarterbacks the last couple of years. You look at the way the NFC North could potentially look next year, whereas the Minnesota Vikings are pretty much intact.